Hi everybody, I hope you're having a fabulous day. So I am back to share some vintage and antique jewelry finds from the past few weeks, and I had to come on camera up just to share this incredible necklace. I felt like it would not do it justice to not see this on. This is an absolutely incredible Bohemian Garnet necklace. You can see it has these beautiful swags and drops, so kind of a festoon style necklace. It was my birthday this past week, and this was something I saw come up for auction. It was actually on Shop Goodwill, and I said if it stayed below a certain number, I was going to pick it up for my birthday. And I think I got really lucky. It stayed under my cap number because these are very pricey online. If you look up these Bohemian Garnet necklaces, they go upwards of $1,000. I did not pay anywhere near that for this beautiful necklace and bracelet set. After the FedEx truck arrived, I immediately put this necklace on because, I mean, how could I not? My boyfriend said I looked like a Victorian vampire, to which I said, thank you so much. That is exactly what I want to be looking like in this necklace. I love it. I think it's absolutely incredible. So last weekend, my mom came into town a little bit early to celebrate, and we did a bit of an antique store crawl. So I have some pieces from this past weekend, some of the things we found, as well as some items that I've purchased online. And because it was my birthday, I did buy a few more things than normal. So I have some really wonderful things to share with you. And I have so many pieces. This video might be split up into two parts just because I don't know how long this haul is going to be. But yeah, I really wanted to share this one with you. There's one other necklace I want to share camera up. So I might put that one on, come back on just to share it with you really fast, and then we'll move into the camera down portion and take a look at some of the things I found. This is an incredible Art Deco sterling silver marcasite and chrysoprase necklace, and you're not going to believe what I paid for this piece. So they definitely thought that this was a vintage costume jewelry piece, so I scored on this. We're going to take a closer look at this, but I thought this would be a good one to share camera up as well because it's such a statement necklace. Really incredible find. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to move into the camera down portion of the video and take a look at some of the other items that I found. As always, if you have more information about any of the pieces that I share here today, I'd love it if you leave me a comment. I really want this channel to be a place to spread knowledge, for everybody to learn about vintage and antique jewelry along with me, and just be a place that we can share and talk about jewelry. So yes, thank you for being here, and let's get to it. Okay, so here we are on the camera down portion of the video, and let's first take a closer look at those necklaces that I was just wearing in our camera up portion because they definitely deserve a close-up. So here is that fabulous Art Deco sterling silver marcasite and chrysoprase necklace. Yeah, this was hanging up in my little local thrift shop or consignment shop, and it was marked vintage necklace, and it was $12. So I was so excited when I found this. It is absolutely stunning. I have tested the metal. It is, of course, sterling silver. The stones are also testing as chrysoprase. And the other really incredible part is for all of the marcasites that you see in this necklace, there's only one missing, and it is this one right in this corner. So it's something that could very easily be replaced. But how beautiful. Even this chain is beautiful. You have these sort of double stationed chains, and the spring ring is actually marked 925. So they missed that, just missed this beautiful piece. So I was so happy to have found it and rescued it. It's just incredible. Love this piece. Okay, next we're going to take a look at the garnets close up because these are so incredible. Here is the bracelet. You have these beautiful little panels encrusted with our gorgeous garnet stones. It does have a safety chain. Here is what the back of the bracelet looks like. They are that closed back construction, almost like a book chain sort of link. These little panels, and it is beautiful. And it's kind of interesting because I don't know if this piece is original to it, but let me clasp it so I can show you. But there is this sort of extension piece, so I don't know if this was added later or if that is original to the bracelet. It kind of looks like it might be sterling, like a gilt sterling. I'm gonna have to test the metal. Usually these are just kind of a gilt brass, but this one has that silver tone look to it. But really beautiful stone. And then we have the absolutely incredible festoon swag necklace, also in Bohemian Garnets. It is so beautiful. You can see the little center stones here are all bezel set so beautifully. I love the little drops. Oh, it is fabulous. And I love that the clasp itself has the garnets as well. It does have this really beautiful little safety with like a shepherd's hook closure, and it would hook onto this little loop here. Just to protect your necklace in case this clasp came undone, you had a secondary safety there. And I'll flip it around so we can see the back and see the construction. Again, it is closed back. This one has more of that brass tone color that I'm used to seeing. It does almost look silvery though. Now, these came together in a lot. That doesn't mean that these were originally sold together or anything, but it is a very similar construction. But yeah, really, really gorgeous. I'm absolutely in love with these pieces. So beautiful. I'm just kind of going to leave it here for a second so that you can admire the sparkle in these. These are fabulous. I also put on my little garnet ring here. This is a newer piece. This is a little more contemporary, but I still think it goes pretty nicely. Yeah. But maybe I'll do a little shot with some of my brooches and pieces because I am building a little collection of Bohemian Garnets, and I just think they're incredibly beautiful. This is another thing that I have been collecting and that I absolutely love, and this is some Dragon's Breath glass. This one I found online from a seller who did not know what this was. They just said it was an orange stone. I have found that misidentified listings are a really good source for Dragon's Breath glass specifically because a lot of sellers just aren't familiar with what it is. So I have found a lot of beautiful pieces that way, and this is one of them. So this is a beautiful sterling silver. It is marked sterling here on the bottom. A really nice large piece of Dragon's Breath glass as well. So beautiful. It has that gorgeous flower and leaf design on the edges. This one's a pretty nice size. Beautiful piece. I was really, really happy when this one arrived and I saw the size. I actually thought it was going to be much smaller just because the price was so good, but it's actually a really, really nice size and a really nice piece of Dragon's Breath glass. It's gorgeous. Okay, maybe we'll take a look at some of the Victorian pieces that I picked up. So I did find this gorgeous sterling silver, kind of a kite design with the cannonball border, but a beautiful floral and leaf design on the front. So gorgeous. Here we have our classic tube hinge and C-clasp. And this one does have silver hallmarks. I believe the hallmarks are for Birmingham, England. Now I would have to look up the date code on this, but beautiful piece. I love that it still had its little safety chain attached. A lot of times when I find these pieces, this chain is missing. And these little loops, I guess that's what those were for. I thought on some of the pieces, I thought that they were for a watch fob, but now that I'm seeing this, I guess they were also for little safety chains. So I guess they were multifunctional, but how beautiful. I love this brooch. I think it's so gorgeous. Another piece of Victorian silver that I have found is this beautiful little Victorian tassel. And you know what? I would not know what this piece was if it was not for Dana from Killer Queen Antique Jewelry. So I don't know if you'll be watching this, Dana. I know she has an auction today, so she might be busy. But if you do catch this video, thank you for sharing your jewelry because I would have no idea what this piece was. She has actually brought a few of these to her own auctions, and that is the only reason I recognized it. So this is a beautiful Victorian tassel. These would have been on the end of like a watch fob or chain, and it makes a really beautiful pendant. And that's how I plan to wear this, is just to add it to a sterling silver chain and wear it as a little layering pendant. It's really beautiful. It has that little, almost like a leaf, scallop leaf design on the top. Absolutely love it. I think I paid $10 for this, so also a pretty good score. I found this really beautiful button pin. I really enjoy antique photographs, so I also love it when it's a photograph and a piece of jewelry. So it's just a little button pin. And I thought the photograph on it was beautiful. I love her bow and her little polka dot outfit. I just thought it was very interesting and it's in really, really nice condition. Just a few dollars at an antique store, and I really loved her. And I did find another morning brooch, and I love these pieces. I just think they're so interesting and really, really beautiful. Here we have this cameo on the top that is affixed to this larger floral frame. I'm going to flip it over to show you the back here. We have a tube hinge and a C-clasp. So as I've said many times before, I'm still learning the different materials. I have a really hard time distinguishing between like a bog oak and a vulcanite and a jet. So I don't entirely know what this is made of. I feel like this frame might be bog oak and maybe this top piece is jet, but I will have to do more research to confirm. But I thought this was in really nice condition. I loved the size of it. And yeah, I'm just really taken with anything Victorian. I just have a fondness for anything antique, specifically these morning jewelry pieces. I think they're beautiful, very, very interesting. And here's another Victorian brooch that I found. It is in this beautiful gold tone metal. I think this is most likely gold filled. It's not marked anywhere, but we do have our tube hinge and C-clasp there. It is like a hollowed repoussé flower, and it is so beautiful, I think. It's actually a really nice size. It's quite large, but very lightweight because it is hollow. So I thought this would make a really nice addition to my Victorian brooch collection. It's a really beautiful one. And then I found one other gold tone Victorian brooch. This one is quite a bit smaller, but really beautiful. It has some beautiful chased etched design. And then here is what the back looks like. It looks like we maybe had a tiny bail up top here that has gone missing over the years, but still a really nice piece. This one again is like a hollowed repoussé stamped sort of metal, and I thought it was beautiful. And here is another bar pin that I found, and I thought this was absolutely stunning. So you have these tiny little seed pearls surrounding this blue stone center with a larger pearl, and these look very, very much like sapphire, though I believe they are just glass. It looks like those Thai princess rings, those really high sitting cocktail rings that were very popular, but this is of course a brooch, and I think that it is set in sterling silver. Has some interesting etched pattern along the back, so I don't know if this was, maybe this was a piece from something else that was turned into a brooch later. Not quite sure, but I thought it was very interesting and very beautiful. I also thought that those were potentially sapphires, but I tried to test them and they're not reading as anything, so I think they're just glass, but I still think this is a really beautiful piece. Okay, and then here are two bangles that I found. So this first one, this is the first time I have ever found this type of piece before. Plique glass bangle. So basically this is poured glass. So all of the gold that you see here is metal, and that would have been formed first, and then they poured the colored glass into the metal, and that is what forms all of these beautiful, beautiful little windows. And you can kind of see, it'd be better if I had a light, but it is translucent, much like stained glass. And it's really beautiful. None of the little pieces were broken. It's in really beautiful condition. And yeah, this is the first time I've ever found one of these just out at an antique store treasure hunting. So I was excited about this beautiful piece. And then somewhat similar, this little bangle was $2, and I do have a little stack of cloisonne bangles, and I thought that this would make a nice addition to that. So for $2, I had to pick it up. This one's kind of a nice burgundy color with our little cloisonne floral pieces surrounding it, also in really nice condition. Now here's kind of an interesting piece. This is actually a Vesta case or a match safe, and I believe that this is vulcanite. And it opens up like this. So both the top and the bottom open up, which I think is quite interesting. This side has some really beautiful thistle and clover designs. It does have a little monogram there. And then this side has that cameo of Queen Victoria, which I think is so cool. And you can see it is a little bit damaged, which worked out for me because it meant the price was really, really good on this. But I feel like this damage is super honest damage. Because this was a match safe to hold matches, it looks to me like somebody lit a match and it accidentally dropped on the case and made a little burn mark here. So it's a really honest, really honest piece of wear, and I actually think it just adds a little history to this piece and, you know, shows that it was used and it was used as it was intended. So a really cool little piece, I thought, a really fun thing to display with my Victorian era jewelry. I found this in a tray of costume jewelry, and this is of course a Victorian watch fob. So we have our top piece intact, It does have a patent number on the back. We have our little mesh panel there, and it does look like there was probably a fob that hung from this little hook that is missing, but I do like to rescue these. I know people do collect these and use them to repair antique pieces, so for a few dollars I was happy to pick this up. I think these are most often gold filled. It's in really nice condition as well. Now this bracelet I thought was very interesting. So we have this really large flower or like lily pad design on the center here with this little pearl, and it's a really nice dimensional layered piece. Here's what the back looks like. So even the back has this really beautiful vein pattern throughout it, and it's on this book chain style bracelet. So I believe this is brass, and it has a very Art Nouveau look to me. So my antique lovers and collectors out there, I don't know if this is a true Art Nouveau piece, but it absolutely has that look about it. I'm just not sure if this book chain style was around at that time or not, so you guys will have to let me know. So it does have that fold over clasp, and yeah, I just thought it was so beautiful. I loved this centerpiece, and this is a bracelet, but I also think it would make a really fabulous necklace if it was ever extended. But yeah, I just thought this one was very interesting, and I loved the design and Art Nouveau look of it. Oh yeah, so I have a few sweet little bug brooches, and now these are all very different, I think. So the first one I found was this gorgeous check glass little bug brooch. And you have this really large faceted blue stone. We have the red and then its little green eyes. Really cool. And this one is actually marked check on the back, Checo. And I did have to do a little bit of restoration on this. This one had a lot of verdigris and some of the gilding was missing, so I did touch it up a little bit, which I plan to keep this for my own collection. I did not pick this up to resell, so I don't mind doing a little bit of restoration work on pieces that I plan to keep. So I love him. I think this is really adorable. And I also picked up this one. Now this one is a much more contemporary piece, but really beautiful little fly bug brooch. We have a blue, well, multi-tonal blue faceted stones. And here is what the back looks like. And now this reminds me of like the 1928 swirl. That's what I think this is. So I do think this is a much more contemporary piece, but it's really, really beautiful. And then this one I actually discovered in my little stash of jewelry as I was finding a place to put these. I realized that I had this one already in my collection. So this one has that beautiful faux turquoise glass. It's in sort of a copper gold tone. Here's what the back of this one looks like. So I'm not quite sure if this one is also check glass or if this is a newer piece. I think that this is probably the oldest of the three here, but a really cute little collection of bug brooches. Now this I just thought was really adorable. This was I think $5 sitting on a shelf, and I thought it was so sweet. So it's this little cloisonne enameled apple, little trinket box, and it has beautiful enameling on the inside as well. Just adorable. I thought it would be very sweet to put rings in to kind of keep on the bedside table. Adorable. I thought it was in beautiful condition as well. Just kind of a fun little piece. I also picked up this jewelry casket. I absolutely love these pieces. So this one has a beveled glass top, opens up just like that. And this one has a really beautiful sort of angel or cherub design around it. Not quite sure how old it is, but I love these. I love to display pieces in them and use them in my curio cabinets. So I thought that was a very fun piece. I have some things inside here as well that we will take a look at. Actually, all of these brooches right up front here, so all of these brooches up front here, as well as all of the things in these little baggies, these were all in a little bowl, and they were all between $2 and $3. So I grabbed a few brooches because I saw some really wonderful things. I found these really gorgeous iridescent glass set into gold tone clip back earrings, and these are actually Sarah Coventry, and they are marked SAC, so I believe these are an older pair of Sarah's. And I just love the glass in them. I thought that these would do really well, and I probably will list these on my Poshmark closet. But beautiful earrings, I thought, for $2. And then I found these beautiful little carved mother of pearl pieces. So I have a dove similar to this, but I thought this one was adorable. I thought it was in great condition, and I was happy to pick that up for $3. And then there was two of these beautifully carved ornate crosses, and both of them have a little engraving on the backside that says Jerusalem. So I believe these are probably like souvenir mother of pearl carved pieces from Jerusalem. I just thought they were beautiful and definitely worth picking up. I'll probably add a little silver chain to these, and I will probably be listing these ones as well, but absolutely beautiful. And then next, this one was also in that little bowl for $2, and I thought from the front that this looked quite old. This is a really beautiful glass. You have this lighter blue glass that is set on top of a darker blue, almost black glass. And you have this beautiful heavy brass. This looks Victorian to me, but when you flip it around, it certainly looks like this pin has been replaced with a more contemporary pin. You can see there is some verdigris here where that soldering happened, but I would love to know what you guys think. So certainly the pin has been replaced, but I'm just curious to know if you think that this component, the main actual brooch piece, if this might be Victorian, because that is what it looks like to me, but I'm learning and I don't know for sure, but that is why I grabbed it. I just thought it was really interesting and beautiful. I love the little etched piece of glass on the front. And yeah, I thought it was really sweet. Couldn't leave it for $2. And then I was really excited to see this in those little baggies, also for $2. And this, of course, is an Italian micro mosaic pin. Beautiful colors in this one. The gold tone is in really nice shape. Here is what the back looks like. No markings on this one, but beautiful design, certainly worth more than $2. Beautiful piece. And then I found these adorable little celluloid clogs. I think these are so sweet. And I mentioned in my previous video that I've been collecting celluloid. So I do pick these up when I find them, especially for $1 or $2. Here's what the back of this one looks like. And I thought it was especially sweet that the little painted details were still on these little celluloid clogs, and I thought they were adorable. So those will go into my little celluloid collection. And then I did grab these beautiful sterling silver grape cluster earrings. I have seen this style before, and when I turned them around, I recognize that marking to be a Tasco, Mexico silver marking. So really beautiful Tasco clip grape cluster earrings. Thought they were really beautiful and they were a really wonderful price, so I grabbed these ones. Now I grabbed this really beautiful rhinestone brooch. We have these faceted emerald cut white stones with our large faceted center stone, and I really liked how dimensional this piece was. Just thought it was really beautiful. Here is what the back of this one looks like. Just a costume piece, but I just thought the construction of it was really nice. The stones are in really beautiful condition, and I really liked the shape of it. And then I also grabbed this rhinestone bracelet. I don't always pick these up, but the center stones in this one were so bright and beautiful looking. Often when I find these bracelets, there are dead stones. They're just really not as bright and shiny as this one is. And you can see on the band, there are a few dead stones down here, but this centerpiece was in such beautiful shape. I thought it was worth grabbing. It is a vintage piece. Here's what the back looks like. But yeah, just a really beautiful bracelet, I thought. I also picked up two pairs of costume rhinestone earrings this time. These ones I thought were especially beautiful. You have these foiled glass center stones here, quite large, with our beautiful AB Nivette stones and round stones around, and they're all prong set, clip backs, but I just love these foiled glass pieces. And then these ones have these beautiful emerald colored rhinestones up top with our AB teardrops. They're just a really beautiful size. That is one of the reasons I grabbed these. They're just really showy and beautiful, and I loved the green and AB combination. So I thought these were two interesting pairs of beautiful costume earrings. And then here are two really beautiful rings that are somewhat similar in that we have these beautiful faceted pieces of amethyst glass. Now this first one has these tiny little seed pearls, and they are faux seed pearls, but they're really gorgeous. And as I turn this to the side, you can see how beautiful this setting is. You have this rose vine growing up the side, filigreed setting surrounding it, so beautiful. and it's going to be hard to catch on camera. I don't think I'll be able to get it here, but it is marked sterling inside the band. So it is a sterling silver ring in setting with a really beautiful piece of faceted amethyst glass, and it is gorgeous. It is a small size. I think this is a 4.5 or 4 3/4. So it is small, but it is fabulously beautiful. I love the look of that. And then this piece here I thought was really interesting because in my last video, or maybe 2 videos ago, I shared a carnelian necklace that had the exact same style of beautiful filigree, kind of canatile silver work on it. And Dana was really helpful in the comments, and she let me know that that was an Italian filigree piece. So I thought that this ring was probably the same thing, but this one here has amethyst glass instead of carnelian. I wish it was carnelian and it was a beautiful match to that necklace, but that's okay. I love this as well. And this one I think is a 6.5, so a much more wearable size, and it's really, really beautiful. Love that piece. So yeah, I definitely have some more pieces out here and sitting next to me that I want to share with you, but I think I'm going to end this video and we're going to pick it up in another video where I'm going to finish out with the other pieces that I have. I have some really beautiful things. I have a Georgian piece of jewelry, which I've never had before, a few more Victorian pieces, and just some other interesting pieces. So stay tuned for that video. I'm sure it's going to come out soon. I'm probably going to film that one tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you had a favorite piece, or if you have any more information for me, please leave me a comment. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.